honestly, you'd think it was autumn, but let's start with the lawns. I've just shown you how dry lawns are at the moment, and my suggestion is that basically leave it alone. If it's got a few tufty bits and a bit that's growing, why not just use your mower without a box on and drop the cuttings onto the lawn. Remember, that will help keep the moisture levels up on your lawn. So that's the first thing. If you want to water the lawn, I'm not anti-watering the lawn, but remember, most people are on getting charged for whatever they use, so it can cost you a lot of money. But if you are watering a lawn, water it at night and water it very, very thoroughly, like an hour on one section. So whether you've got an oscillator or a little sprinkler, leave it on for a long time and really get the water down into the ground. Watering the surface and walking away from it is a total waste of time. So what about feeding? You can feed in this sort of weather, but don't use any of the granular feeds. Always use a liquid feed. While we're talking grass, just have a look behind me. You can see a lot of what looks like just long grass. And over there's a bit of wildflower in there. And as we go through this month, it's a great month to cut everything down. Don't gather it up. Leave it down if you've got wildflower area, because you want the seed to come out of the wildflowers to self-sow itself back into that wildflower meadow. Wildflower meadows are quite difficult to look after, but that's the important thing. If you've got a lot of wildflowers, you must cut, leave, not gather, and let the seeds set. Really important indeed. Well, you saw me raking. Look at these leaves down here. Look at that lot. You'd think it was autumn, but actually they're green. They're green because the tree's struggling a little bit with the dryish weather. A little bit of dried wind, you get a bit of burn that we talk about. We've talked about on World Radio Gardening on some of those grasses that I showed a few days ago, and they will drop. Tidy up your lawn, don't leave leaves everywhere. It's not autumn, it's summer, and try and enjoy your garden. And I'm giving you lots of jobs to do, but gardens are about enjoyment. So sit back, relax, and remember, it's good for your health. But I'm not going to finish there, because there are jobs that we should be getting on with. Dead hedge of roses, go back down 2 leaf axils, unless you've got a floribunda type rose, which big heads, like something like Kew Garden, something like that, and then you have to take the whole head off. But encourage new growth, because you'll get flower later on this year. Hedges, you can start doing your evergreen hedges. I'll show you a bit more about that a bit later on through the month. We'll be trying to do some thuja and maybe some yew as well, so I'll show you how we do those. And roses, look out for black spot. If there is any, spray for black spot. And watch if you've got container plants, any sort of herbaceous, hardy roses, anything like that. See that you keep them watered. They will really struggle with this amount of heat. Remember that if you've got it in a pot, the heat is going in from all round that pot. So keep them very well watered, possibly twice a day, early morning, late at night. Bedding needs watering and deadheading and liquid feeding. Liquid feeding will keep them flowering right into September and October. So there's plenty of things to get on with, and that's all here on World Radio Gardening.